In this demo, I'm going to talk about two techniques that will help you with navigation, which is basically how you move around inside your document, and something called layout, which is how things are spaced out on the page. Both of these sets of technical solutions will help you with information architecture and laying things out the way that they need to be laid out. So let's begin. I have it in two sections here. First, Microsoft Word, layout and navigation, and then HTML, layout and navigation. So we'll begin with Word and talk about something here called layout. And one of the natural things that you can use in Microsoft Word is its ability to contain things inside tables. So I've got this information here. Maybe make a second copy of this because I'm using this for something else as well. Excuse me. So we'll save this as sorry, file save. Desktop, and we'll call this tables. So I have my content on the page, and right now everything is forced to scroll vertically. But you can use tables to do a couple of things. I'm going to go quickly here and grab an image from the internet, doesn't matter what. Google Images, take my favorite subject matter. Copy image, and I can put it right inside my Word document right here. It's going to come in big, doesn't matter. I can resize it. You recall, or you should be doing, once you have inserted an image inside your document, I'll center it. I'm going to right click and choose insert caption. Figure 1, I'll put in a colon. Caption all ready to that ball. And basically all I have to do is OK, and you can see that this comes up here quite nicely. So I can start to spread things out on the page very easily. I'm going to create some space at the top here and go to Insert and Table, and you can see here that you can make your table a variety of different widths and column heights. Let's take a two column table that's maybe 3 rows long. So once I've laid this table out, I can take all of this content here, I can cut it, and I can paste it into one side of the table, and I can take my image and cut it. It's too bad the caption didn't come with it, but I think I can just insert it like this. So now I have things spaced out a little bit better. I'll take this and cut it here. So you can see what I'm doing is by creating 2 columns, I'm reducing the number of pages that the user has to scroll down, and I can put it, put it into these columns this way. And this is my table. Now I can center this, and you can vertically align it. Excuse me. I'll leave that for now, but you get the idea. Now you have a couple of choices you can do with your table. I'm just going to click over here in the top left-hand corner. You see a little 4-way north, south, east, and west arrow. I click on that, the whole table highlights. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to table properties. Excuse me. So for table properties, down here it says borders and shading. And one thing I can do, certainly, is remove all of the borders whatsoever so that they don't appear. I have other options as well, borders and shading. You can put a heavy border in. You can do a number of different variations on this. You can put excuse me, a border around the whole table, around all the cells, all kinds of ways to do this. Over here you can see I put a vertical line in between one of them, and you can change the nature of the border. That's a double line. You can change the thickness of the border. So when I put this in, you see it here. So that is one way to use tables inside Microsoft Word to help you with your layout. There is another way, and that is that Microsoft Word has some built-in themes and templates that you can use to arrange the layout in such a way that you don't have to do too much work to get from one place to the other. So I typed into Google Microsoft Word templates. I will take this one here. I don't need the themes necessarily. I'll just take the templates, and I'll show you how this works. Let's go to browse by category, maybe brochures. I did find a newsletter. Let me see if I can find the newsletter very quickly. Here's the word that I want. What I'm going to show you here is that newsletter becomes a fancier way of working with tables. I'm trying to find a very simple newsletter. Here's one right here. Just black and white. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to ask me, do you want to download? Use the wizard to download this template. So I'm going to say download it. And I'm going to open this file. And it automatically launches Microsoft Word. We'll enable the content. So I get a little wizard here. Do you want to, I have a choice between what they call a professional template, a contemporary template, and an elegant template. We'll take the elegant. Title and content, you can change that now or change it later, it doesn't matter. It's got a built-in automatic date. You can include that or exclude it. It's got a built-in automatic volume and issue. You can get rid of that. I don't need a mailing label, so that's fine, and we'll just finish it up. And this now is your template, so you can change this. Help for whatever your particular topic is. I can edit this in any way that I want. I can make it red. I can make it smaller. I've got all of these columns now that I can work with, that I can play with, manipulate in whatever way I want. I can certainly change the font. That's not a problem. Put it to Calibri. I can make it larger. Down on the next page, I've got basically this column setup that looks like the table that I created manually. So now, instead of scrolling down, this basically cuts your scrolling in half, right? Because you've got two columns here. There's all kinds of ways to manipulate these columns, make it smaller or larger. You can go to YouTube and look for help on how to do that, but those are two ways to improve your layout. The other thing I want to talk about in terms of layout is navigation. So I want to switch to navigation. And I've got an example here. Where's my original document? Here we are. I'm going to provide a link to you on Moodle about this. There's a really good explanation of something called navigation panes in Microsoft Word. That's P-A-N-E-S, not P-A-I-N-S. And the video is right here. You can follow it at your leisure. For me, I just put a note in here. I never knew this, but this, to my mind, this is absolutely magic. You'll watch this guy do the demo of how to create navigation panes, which is basically a table of contents that floats on the left-hand side of the document and allows you to jump from any one place to any other place instantly in the document. That's a good heuristic because it follows the two-click rule. But he opens up a copy of Microsoft Word, and at the top of the document he types in equal R-A-N-D, which is I think short for random, 5,10, which is generate for me 5 paragraphs of 10 sentences each, and boom, it automatically randomly generates. It just blew my mind. So it's worth taking a look at this and trying it just for the magic of this. But those are two ways that you can work on your navigation. This first one here I've already done for you, called Tips and Tricks in Assignment 3, about mouse overs and so on. So navigation will help you move around the document, and layout will help you arrange things on the space. Moving now to HTML, there are a lot of templates and libraries out there that you can use to put little widgets or units of things into your HTML file. So what I'm going to do here is demo one menu item and one layout item. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to go here. So Dynamic Drive is CSS. If you Google CSS library Dynamic Drive, you'll get to this repository of code that's already built for you. So the nice thing about this is that you really don't have to do any programming, any coding, except to copy and paste their code in the way that they tell you to. So you have on the left-hand side horizontal menus that go left to right, vertical menus that go top down, all kinds of stuff, links and buttons, two-column layouts. I'll talk about those in a minute. We're going to do menus first, but we're at horizontal menus, so we'll stay there. I'll take, I don't know, let's take this one right here. So what you get at Dynamic Drive first off is an example of what the menu does. So you can see that when I mouse over this menu, I have 2 items under folder 1, 2 items under folder 2, and so on. Now you see here there's something called the cascading style sheet, the code. I'll just expand this. This code here has to go inside the head tag. And one of the points about this code is that there's a link to an external website called fonts.googleapis.com, and there's all kinds of fonts there, but I'll just shrink this again. So here's my code, and I'm just going to select the code and right click and copy it. Now I'm going to go to my HTML file, and I want to put a menu in here. So what I've done is this is the head tag right here. The CSS that I copied has to be pasted inside the head tag. So that's all I did. This is my head tag right here. It closes all the way down here, and I put this, I'll just click on this. I just copied that big chunk of code and put it inside the head tag along with this external link. Notice that the link doesn't turn purple because this one does not have to close. But that's step 1. So step 2 is inside the HTML. You can take a look here. This code goes inside your HTML right under the body tag. So we'll contract this. I'll select the code, I'll copy it, and it's going to be that easy. I'll go here and put it right underneath the body tag, because the first thing I want to appear is the menu system. And I will save that. And I've got it open right here. So this is what my code looked like before. I'll reload it. And there is my menu system already in place. It's that simple, copy and paste. Now, if I want to change the items, I just go into the HTML code. I basically don't have to touch anything here in the CSS and the head tag. I'm just inside the body tag, and I can just call this, rename it anything I want. Peter 1. Mocha 2. Sorry, bad typing. Save that. Go back here, and you can see here that I've changed Peter 1, Mocha 2, Murphy 3. All of those are under folder 2. So it's just a matter of you going to CSS here, Dynamic Drive, finding the particular menu system that you want, and there's like pages and pages and pages of it, and you're good to go. So that part is pretty straightforward. Now, sorry for the uneven splice or edit here. I ran into some technical problems and thought rather than make you wait while I tried to figure it out, I just stopped the recording and I'll pick it up where I left off. So I did make one revision to this document. So what you're seeing here is not what I started with. What I did change was down here at the bottom, I was working on layout and menus in HTML, which is, I stopped here at menus, but I have to do layout. And for navigation, I found a video actually that explains it a lot better than I could, so I just put that link in there. So I've covered most of this. I just want to show you how to go and take a widget, a pre-written code from a website, and to copy it and paste it into your HTML file. Easy peasy, and let me demonstrate that for you now. So I was talking about Dynamic Drive, and we talked about menus, but up at the top here, but down here they've got CSS layouts, and they have all kinds of layouts. Now, just a quick point here, a fixed layout is not going to be responsive design, because it means that as the window resizes, everything is going to wrap funny. Ideally, what you want is a liquid layout, or liquid with fluid with fixed. So let me explain what that means. The one I'm going to use is a fixed fluid right here. So this column on the left hand side is always going to remain the same, and this white space here is going to shrink or expand depending on the size of the window that you're looking at. So I'll just click on it, and it begins by giving me a demo here of what it looks like. When I scroll down here, I have all of this code. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's got the doc type HTML declaration and the head tag and all of that. I really don't need any of that, and I don't need the title because I've already got it in my own file. I'll show you here. Where's my notepad? Here it is. So I've already got like a doc type and a head tag and a title. What I'm going to do is go back here, and starting from the style tag inside the head tags, I'm just going to go down. I'm still inside the head tags, and I'm going right to the close head tag. So all of this stuff that I've copied comes from inside the head tag. I did not copy HTML, I did not copy head, I did not copy UTF-8, and I did not copy the meta tag or the title. Only this style, the stuff inside these two style tags. So I'll copy those, and I go to my own code, and I'm just going to put it right in here in between the two head tags and save that. So that sets up the cascading style sheet for the layout itself. Now here's the body tag, and I need to take all of this stuff from inside the body tag in between the open and close body tags. So I'll just copy what I've highlighted, and I go to my code here, and I put it inside the body tag. Sorry, didn't mean for that. So I'll save that, and now we will go to sample layout. Let me open up a new browser here, File, Open, and on my desktop I have sample layout. And there's my sample layout, right? It's come out exactly as I copied and pasted it. I can get rid of this if I want by simply going to the code here and get rid of that. Save it. Go back here and reload. And now I've got this on top. You can go into the cascading style sheet and change the color and the font and all of this stuff, but it's a very easy way to copy and paste somebody else's work, their actual code, and use it, and that's perfectly legitimate. The last item that I'm talking about is navigation inside an HTML file. So not from one HTML file to somewhere else, but inside. It's called an internal link. And I'm just going to recommend you to this video here. It's very good and very clear, and it shows you how to jump from one place to another place inside the same HTML file. There are two ways to do it. One is using an a name tag connected with an ahref, and the other is using something called an ID attribute, and this video explains it all to you, so I encourage you to go and look at that. So just let me recap where we've been. I'm talking about navigation, which is how you move around the document, and layout, which is how it's spaced out on the page. I did layout in Word, tables, and a newsletter template. I did navigation in Word. I've already got one recording up there with mouse overs and tooltips, and I put you to this second, referred you to this second YouTube video link here on navigation panes inside Microsoft Word. It's a fantastic little tip, so make sure you take a look at that. And for HTML, for layout and menu, I took you to the dynamic drive. And this resource is absolutely fantastic. Is it the only one out there? Absolutely not. There are all kinds of libraries out there that have that, and all kinds of widgets that you can use, but I like dynamic drive, so that's what I used. For navigation in HTML, I'm sending you to this particular YouTube video here. One final word is that there's widgets on everything. So you could say, I don't know, let's say you wanted to do a form libraries, and you can say it could be either HTML, JavaScript, or CSS. We haven't done JavaScript, but I go form libraries. You can also do the same with JavaScript. You can go and not that one, sorry. You can go and find out all kinds of things, pre-built validators, pre-built validation for forms, which means If it requires an email address and you don't have an @ symbol in it, it won't let you submit the form. But JavaScript, HTML, or CSS libraries will give you all kinds of code already pre-written, so you just have to copy and paste it. If you're stuck, email me please, and I'll be happy to direct you to the right place.